Hi y'all, and welcome back to my channel. And we are at another month, which I feel like compared to March, this month went by just super quick. I mean, March probably went by really freaking slow for just about everybody. But we started April and I was like, okay, all right, we're starting, we're going on, and then it was done. So obviously we've got another bit of hits and misses. We've got some I think it's good. We got a good level of whatever. Some things that kind of surprised me, because if y'all haven't seen, well, I will put it probably actually after this. Typically I'll have my hits and misses and then I will post my makeup rotation. So with doing that makeup rotation, there is some, like older products that I'm rotating that I'm realizing for one reason or another may not be the bomb diggity. But obviously today we are going to start with La Musica. And for those of you who follow me on Twitter and the Snapchats and all that, you would probably be aware that February, March, and April, those months were kind of a struggle for me. I mean, I'm pretty sure we were all on the struggle bus, especially in March and April. But April, we were just dealing with a lot of emotion and depression and self-loathing. And so the two songs that really kind of, when you're in that mindset, or at least when I'm in that mindset, I can go one of two ways when it comes to music. I can be like, all right, I'm depressed, time to listen to some metal. Or I can be like, okay, I'm depressed, I want music that makes me feel better. And I think this song may have been featured in another monthly hits and misses, but this is the song Love Exists. I'm getting ready to talk so poignantly about this and I can't even, it's Love Exists, which it is originally, I want to say, an Italian song. I will leave that one down below. But what brought me to it and what made me fall in love with it is the version that Amy Lee from Evanescence did. The first moment I heard this song, it just, I don't want to say it's an antidepressant, but it is definitely something that just helps me. It lifts me up. It makes me feel not alone. It is just such a beautiful song. You can go one of two ways when I listen to it. When I'm upset, I can sit there and be just bawling my eyes out, or I can be like, you know what? It's not so bad. But it is just an absolutely beautiful, stunning. When my husband and I, at some point, whenever we renew our vows, I want this to be the song, Burp Squad, that we dance to for our first dance, because it's so lyrically, musically, Amy's voice is a gift to the world. It's just an absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous song. Then the next song, kind of in the same vein of, upbeat and make you feel better and inspirational. Y'all know whenever you're going through and you're listening to music and you're thinking about music to listen to, and you're like, oh yeah, I remember that song. I used to listen to that a lot. Why don't we plug that in? And that is the song Awake by Avici, which when it was released was very, very popular. It's actually one of the songs my brother and I both like the band because they're very musically diverse. And it would be funny because it's one of my feel good songs when I'm, whatever and down, and I want a song that's very uplifting. Is, if y'all remember those like two little kids in high chairs, and the dad starts playing guitar and they look at each other and then just start bopping back and forth. That's what would always happen to me in the car when I played this song, or it'd come on the radio. I just look at my brother and just start bopping back and forth. I'm sure a lot of people who know the song and everything like that. Obviously, I will leave it linked down below. It's just a really nice, feel-good, simple, safe piece of music that just helps to put me in a good mindset. So that's what we have for music. Go down, listen to that, feel inspired, feel good. We are not alone. It's okay. We're gonna make it through this. But let's get on into the makeup, and let us start with a obvious one. I have reviewed this, but the Melt Cosmetics Rust palette. I was not a part of the peoples who was in on the Rust stack, which this is like an extension of that, which is permanent, so thank you for that, Melt. But looking at this, I mean, I could have worn this today. I'm wearing the ColourPop Orangey Glad palette today, but I definitely could have gone for this. I love these tones. Y'all know I love neutrals that kind of skew towards a more unneutral color. And so these kind of like grungy, yellowy sepia tones are right up my alley. I love the matte to shimmer ratio. You only got 3 shimmers, and the formula, God bless, is the same formula as Gemini 27 and all that jazz. This is not a Millennial Pinks disappointment. This is a palette that I would definitely recommend. I would say when it comes to buying Melt Cosmetics eyeshadows, the 3 that I recommend are Gemini 27 and now this one. Because I feel like these 3 palettes are the most consistent, and they're the palette that's gonna give you a real good experience, especially a first experience. Powdery, do not get me wrong, heckin' pigmented, not necessarily what I would consider a beginner formula, but absolutely beautiful. And this palette has thrust me into a respectful love of more neutral color schemes. Next up is a confliction. It is, oh my goodness. I'm wearing this white dress thing and I'm holding stuff and I'm like, please, dear Lord, don't let me set something down and let it be covered in purple eyeshadow. I don't have money for dry cleaning, and I don't think there are even dry cleaners that are open right now. But this is the Makeup Revolution and Alexis Stone Instinct palette. We're gonna open it. Okay. Make sure ain't nothing falling down on this. I love this dress, do not get me wrong, but white and cream and ecru are very difficult colors to keep clean. So you open it up and you're like, oh boy, bomb diggity dang. I absolutely love the gradation in colors here. They're kind of like yellowy, but then they're kind of like browny as well. You got the purple, the pink, the red, the blue, the green. I mean, this thing color-wise has what I'm looking for. And the pigment and the blendability is there. The problem is that what's also there is the worst fallout that I have ever experienced in my life. And I've dealt with some really powdery eyeshadows. Lorac, Anastasia, Kat Von D, Melt, you know, and I considered myself fairly experienced, and then I tried to use this and I was like, oh boy, everything I know is a lie, because these are so powdery. Like, okay, you dip your brush. I've used this section. I like this section. This section is kind of like the least offensive, but all of these ones, Jesus take the wheel. And so you get your brush in, right? And then you could just a minute. So we got a cute little brush, and usually when I deal with fallout, I'm just kind of like, you know, you could go in here and be all like, and then put that brush all up there, you'd still have fallout. You're just like, and it's still all up in there, and just no. And so, like I said, the pigmentation and the blendability and the color theory, that's all nice and snazzy, but you just, the amount of fallout and the difficulty, and I'm sure there are fancy people out there that do the translucent setting thing, you know, and all that jazz. I don't have time for that. I love how I say I don't have time for that. Literally, all I've been doing is filming YouTube videos, and so all the time in the world I have for doing my makeup. But realistically, I don't have time for that, to just deal with the excessive amount of fallout. I have not decided yet if I am decluttering this, because there are some beautiful shades. I may attempt to depot some of them, because I love these. I love this shade here, you know. These are really nice grays. I don't have a lot of gray eyeshadow. I haven't decided. It was a very mixed experience, because, you know, most of it was okay and then the rest of it was not. Next up, I've got 2 different throwback products. One that's like, yay, and one that's like, nah. The first one being a yay is the Too Faced Born This Way foundation, which has refound its place of glory as one of my top favorite foundations. For a while there, we weren't so sure. We tried it again and we were like, that's not really how I remember it looking. Then we found the right primer and whatever, and we're working on it, and I love this foundation. Definitely top 5. This is one I would recommend for people with normal to dry and normal to oily. For those dry people, you know, just you know, leave it kind of as it is, some more dewy. For those oily people, pop some powder on those places and you're good to go. This is definitely one of my favorite higher coverage foundations, because y'all know now that I've been on that skincare game, I'm much less into the really high coverage foundations. Two of my favorites are the discontinued and non-cruelty free Physicians Formula The Healthy Foundation, and the Josie Maran Vibrancy Argan Oil Infused Foundation Fluid, which I love, but is pricey. Not that this is any like less expensive, but for someone who wants that kind of like, you know, you can start off light, get medium, kind of bordering into higher coverage, but you still want it to look healthy and natural and not like full drag beat. I think that this is a fantastic foundation. This is not the shade that I'm wearing. This is my winter shade in Cloud. This is my summer shade in Ivory. I mix them both together in the interim. But absolutely so happy I've fallen back in love with this foundation. It's the one that I've been using for the most part recently. 9 times out of 10 in my recent videos, I'm probably wearing this, because the Physicians Formula one, the lightest shade, is my summer shade. Then an OG that was very disappointing and eye-opening. Y'all will see this in the makeup rotation. I pulled out the little Becca Light Chaser highlighters because I bought them and they were pretty and I wasn't using them. And I pulled them out and I tried to use them and I realized that I'm not a fan of the formula. I mean, I remember when these little things released and I was like, I have to have them. And I bought 4 of them and I never used them. They annoyed me because they were only $4 cheaper than the big ones, and the teeny tiny things. So y'all know having packaging of different whatever, so that gives me agita. But you know, you look at them and this is all like rose quartz flash of seashell. And you're all like, they are a thicker formula. You can feel that when doing your finger all up in there. They're not as smooth. And you're like, wow, look at that. That's gonna be beautiful up on my cheeky cheeks. And then you take a brush and you do it in and you'd go, whoop, and there would be nothing. It's just not a highlighter formula that I was really able to figure out how to use, because the swatch is all nice and pretty and I would love to have that duochrominess all up on my cheeky bones. But it is a thicker formula. I would say it's like an even thicker, harder to deal with formula than the Jeffree Star Skin Frosts. And y'all know I do not say that shiz lightly. You know, and they're pretty, and I was real torn about the Opal Flashes Jade because it's all like green, but the formula just, I mean, look at and that was not a good sound. They're just not a formula. And after finally sitting down and being like, I'm gonna get some use out of these, I realized why I wasn't getting use out of them. Because, like I said, if they were Becca's traditional, I'd be singing the praises of these little bad boys. But they're just not. I don't like them. So coming to that realization it was good. It hurt a little bit, but it was good. It's good. You know, sort of a learning moment for me, but just not something I was super happy about. We got a lot of negative all up in here. Well, it's not negativity. It's me being honest. Another product in my makeup rotation that I tried out because I wanted to get more use out of them are these The Balm In Stain blushes. Now they're beautiful colors. You look at that, you're like, oh yes, purple, yes. You look at this one, you're like, oh, mauve, yes. You look at this one, you're like, oh, orange, yes. And then I tried to use them on my cheeks and they just about left skid marks. Y'all know your girl isn't necessarily the most matte friendly when it comes to most things besides eyeshadow. I like a dewy, ethereal, shimmery, shininess. These are very, very matte. They are very dry. They are very pigmented, but I find that the level of pigmentation is not compensated by an equal level of blendability. Like, I tried using this one and it was pretty where I put it, but it wouldn't blend. And then something possessed me to try to use this one, and that one was even worse. I don't think it's because they're old. I don't think I've had these. They're probably little over a year, but probably not much longer than that. And I've had powder blushes that I've had for like 5 that still work well. So I'm not sure what happened. It could be me, excuse me, burp squad. But I was just all up and excited to use these because the colors were all kinds of stunning. And then I just didn't like the formula. Like with the Becca highlighters, it just wasn't an enjoyable experience for me. I didn't like how it looked on my skin. I didn't like how hard I had to make it. I had to deal with it to try to make it look nice on my skin. It just wasn't a lot of fun. I know a lot of people love these and all that whatever, but they were not for me. Then something a little less offensive, probably because they just cost a lot less money. These are from Shop Miss A. These are the Santee Pro Glow Highlighting Powders. I pulled a whole bunch of shades all up in because after I try everything, I am going to be doing a video. And spoiler alert, these are okay. I mean, they're $1. It's always important to take that sort of thing into consideration because at times you do get what you pay for. Like the Becca ones, they are just a bit thicker. They are easier to pick up, and I think they deliver a bit more shine. And so if you're looking for something, I'm trying to open this one. Woo! Got it open. You know, they're if you want a more like softer strobing highlighter, you're on a budget, they're okay. They're not something that I'm like, yeah, for $1, you know, because there are some other products that were in that less expensive category, like the blushes from last month, that I'm like, they're totally worth $1, maybe even more than that. Whereas these were just kind of, you know, they've got a lot. Part of the problem is they have a glow to them, but they have a lot of that back color pigment. So you're getting the glow, but you're also getting the streak of the color on your face. And for all of you who know, I like my highlighter traditionally to melt into my skin. These don't melt. Kind of like the Jeffree Star and the Becca. They're thicker, they're harder to blend out. Just not something that I really enjoyed, and I don't think something that I would recommend either. They're just, it's $1 highlighter. Okay, let's talk skincare because y'all know your girl loves her some good skincare. The first one is sort of both of these are kind of okay. You know, y'all know with skincare for me, I have to love it, you know, and so these are just kind of It's not that they're doing horrible things for my skin, it's just that they're not replacing anything that I already use and love. So the first one is the Saturday Skin Rub-a-Dub Refining Peel Gel. Now I got this to see if it would be a dupe of my favorite IOPE Pro Peeling Gel, which is one of my top 5 favorite holy grail skincare products. But it's pricey, and this is less expensive. And this is okay. I mean, like I said, you know, it's okay. It's nice. It makes my skin, you know, smooth and whatever, but it isn't as good. So if maybe I hadn't tried the IOPE one before this, I would be more amazed. I would be more blown away. But having that experience trying this one, it's just not as good. So for someone who has a lower price point, a lower budget, you know, I think this would probably be a good option for you because I'm using it up. I'm using it. It's nice. For me, a personal preference, I prefer the one by IOPE. This thing is probably because I'm a moron, and y'all remember there I was like binge purchasing exfoliants. And this is the Dr. Brandt PoreDermabrasion. I absolutely love the microdermabrasion. I used that last night. And I was like, okay, helps refine the appearance of pores. All right, you know, I'm not sure if pores is a problem of mine, and it's okay. I've been using it. I haven't, maybe I don't know what to look for when it comes to pore refining. I haven't noticed anything absolutely amazing. I definitely prefer the Microdermabrasion to this one, and they're in the same price point. And sort of with the Saturday Skin versus the IOPE, you know, while this thing is probably good and it's doing nice things to my skin, just compared to other things that I've used and that I love and that I've repurchased, you know, this doesn't take the place of anything. It isn't as good. It's not the same level. It hasn't reached the same level of sacredness to me as compared to other skincare products that I've tried. So this is definitely something that I'm going to use up. It's not one that I would repurchase. Maybe if you have whatever pores, or you know, maybe this will be better for you. I was a moron for getting it. I should have just spent the money on another microdermabrasion. So yeah, this was just kind of, you know, those two skincare things were just kind of okay. Didn't blow me away, didn't really do anything amazing for me, and didn't, you know, take the place of anything that I already love and use. That is what we have for the month of April. Y'all stay tuned for the month of May, because that's my birth month. Your girl gonna be 30. Even though I dress like an unsupervised 12-year-old. But hey, we gotta stay young one way. Obviously, I would love to hear y'all's thoughts about these products down below. You love them, you hate them. Y'all know I say the same thing every time, as well as letting me know something you've been loving or about this month. But thank you guys so much for watching. I love you, and as always, keep it real. Mwah!